Hey, awesome. Welcome to another episode of the DVO Show. Today I've got my good friend with me, Mr. Jacob Gorange.
Hello, and hello. Yeah, thank you for having me.
Of course, my friend. So what we're going to be talking about today is Jacob has an event coming up soon, and we're going to promote it. We got it kind of in the background, so I'll kind of stay out of the way. But we'll bring it up closer so everyone can see what the event is going to be about and what it entails. But, so again, we'll talk about that at the end. I want you, Jacob, to kind of share your story with us a little bit. So first of all, I want you to kind of tell us what event you got coming up and why you're hosting this event.
Sure. So, Love Makes a Family, it's the Big Family Picnic at the Fairmont Park, August 18th. And it's a family-oriented event, an opportunity to really bring all families of whatever family dynamic your family is to show up.
It actually says it's the third annual LGBTQ Big Family Picnic.
Right.
So it's not necessarily geared towards families of LGBTQ.
Right.
But that is kind of one of the purposes, right?
Yes, and it's certainly and this is not just me. This is the host. It's the Pride Center, the Human Rights Campaign, Equality Utah, the Utah AIDS Foundation, the Gay and Lesbian Chamber and Commerce, and then Sage Utah. So the popular LGBT foundations are hosting hosting this party, and they've asked me to help.
That's pretty cool.
And really, that's a lot of how I've gotten connected with these organizations and why they were so interested in me helping coordinate this event, promote this event. Is because of last April, what really grabbed their attention is an event I coordinated. It was Love Makes a Family Potluck. That was April 7th, and it really was just celebrating love that makes a family regardless of the family dynamic. And there what took place is many different families and many different colors came together and got to meet, and it was really magical. Also what took place there is these children with two moms or two dads. Who maybe thought that they were the only ones.
How old are these kids that you're talking about?
8.
So
children.
Elementary school.
Right.
Wow.
Children.
Yeah.
So these are children that maybe once thought that they were the only ones with this family dynamic.
Yes.
Found themselves playing with other children with the same family dynamic, and I think a real big difference was made for those children.
That's good. So do you feel like these kids, they're hiding that? They know they've got two moms or two dads, and they're hiding that?
Absolutely. I believe that there are some children, and it's come to my attention. See, I'll back up a little bit, because really, I had this interest. I have two loving dads.
Awesome.
And
they're great. I know them personally.
Right.
Great guys.
And I had this interest in really seeking out more others throughout the valley that also have loving LGBT parents as I do. And so I was in my interest in seeking out. I've connected myself with like the Pride Center to see if what they can who they can connect me with, or if there's a group that's already formed. Where there's these young people that have LGBT parents, that are gathering, and I didn't know about it. And I've discovered that there really isn't. And so I've been interested in developing that, in bringing such a community together. Another thing I've discovered, and it actually came to my attention, that the Pride Center gets a call all the time from LGBT parents on what they can do for their children that are getting bullied coming home from school because they have two moms or two dads.
Wow.
So that's either happening, or they are keeping their family dynamic a secret. And no doubt they have loving LGBT parents, and their LGBT parents love them.
Okay.
But they do think that they're the only ones, and they have no idea that they're not.
Okay.
And they do feel like they need to keep their family dynamic a secret.
Now let me ask you, and I don't want to jump into any rabbit holes here, but tell me, do you feel the kids that are maybe hiding this or suppressing this, are they ashamed of it? Are they worried of getting bullied? Combination? Or other things?
I think it is a combination.
Okay.
One, and I wouldn't call it shame, but
Sure.
I would call it maybe just noticing that their family dynamic is different than the friends at their school.
Great.
They have the traditional, that family that fits the Utah mold of what a family should be.
Sure.
Whatever, and they see that, so maybe some misunderstanding, not understanding, and then therefore they don't have the support, and they just have no idea that they're not the only ones with such a family dynamic.
Yeah.
So, and then I think maybe to protect themselves.
Sure.
Protect themselves from getting bullied, because it's unfortunate primarily in Utah, there is some judgment in that area.
I mean, there definitely is. Yeah.
Yeah, and it really just comes to misunderstanding. The thing is, I have two loving dads. I have a little niece that has two loving grandparents, and I've come to get to know, children that have that have loving LGBT parents. I've gotten to know LGBT parents with their children, and what's interesting is there's not really much different from their family as there is with another family.
The dynamic. Obviously, the dynamic's different, but like the way the love is in the house, the way they're being raised and parented, you're saying it's not much different. Okay.
I mean, as far as that, there's really not much different when it comes to a family household with love. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
fair enough. Yeah.
Yes, and what I think is important for society to understand that there's not much different, and that a parent's sexual orientation is not going to really. Okay, my dad, their sexual orientation had zero effect on my sexual orientation. Their sexual orientation had zero effect on how I choose to live my life.
Okay.
But their teachings, their love, that they taught me as parents, had an effect on how I live my life.
Because you're saying you are heterosexual.
Yes.
And you were raised with two homosexual dads.
Right.
And you also have your mom, though.
Right.
Right? And so, I mean, I would love, if you don't mind, like, sharing the growing up a little bit.
Yeah.
Are you up for that?
So now, to clear up, I wasn't necessarily raised by two dads.
Okay.
And so that's why I actually didn't know what it's like. I don't, for these little children, that have two moms or two dads.
Okay.
So because it was my dad that came out later in my life.
Okay.
And then but then I have learned that, there are plenty. So for me, for my dad, I'll go into his story a little bit.
Okay.
I mean,
because he's big in the community. A lot of people know him in the LGBT community.
Yeah.
And he does a lot of support for them and things like that.
Right.
So
he's created quite the spotlight, really. He has a story. You know. And, it's nothing real unique about it, other than that he just would he told his story, and it was important for him to tell a story
Sure.
to help others come out.
Yeah, okay.
And he's been on the Salt Lake Tribune, the Career Magazine. He's been on the news.
Wow.
A few documentaries have been made.
Wow.
Where he's been in the documentaries telling his story. So, I mean, my dad grew up. I mean, he knew he was gay as a young child.
Okay.
I mean, he could go to say that he knew that he was maybe even different.
Okay.
At a real young age, you know, at age 4, he says he knew he was at the way he describes it is he was at a park, and he looked around and saw all of the rest of the kids his age.
Yes.
And it just registered right then that he's different. There's something different about him.
Okay.
And then growing up, you know, it became clear that he is attracted to men.
Okay.
But then also that it was wrong. You know, that's just from what he was taught and what he was told, that it was wrong, and it was something he became ashamed of.
Did he ever come out to his parents?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Well,
at a young age? Or much older?
Well, it was that he came out in a way like I'm dealing with something, I feel attracted to men, and then that's where my dad getting sent to counseling came along.
Oh, wow.
And that's when he was, you know, needed to talk to the bishop, and then that's when, you know, and then going further on as he grew up, you know, being told that just a little bit more scripture study.
Okay.
Trust in the Lord, just a little more scripture study, and then that will make you go straight.
I guess it was also a different time back then.
Yes. Oh,
it wasn't as common. Like today, it's very common, and I'm glad that more people are able to come out and feel comfortable coming out.
Right.
But back then,
so it was the time age. It was the time age, and it was ignorance. There was just a lot of misunderstanding.
Yes.
You know, a lot of misunderstanding, and it was just at the time.
Yeah.
With the predominant religion here in Utah, and the misunderstanding, church leaders would tell him, you know, just a little more scripture study, and then that would make you go straight. So he would be obedient. Right. And then he was told, okay, just go serve a mission.
Okay.
And trust in the Lord.
Did he serve an LDS mission?
And he served an LDS mission.
Wow.
And he was told that if you serve a mission, and then you will go straight.
Yes.
And then he was obedient. And then he was obedient when he was told, go find a woman that you can learn how to fall in love with.
Okay.
You don't even need to tell her that you are having these SSA, as how he used to call it, same-sex attraction.
Okay.
You don't even need to tell her that you're having these feelings, because you're trust in the Lord. And a miracle will happen, and you will go straight. And so my dad married his best friend. That's how my mom came into the picture.
Wow. So they were best friends.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. And she didn't know.
No.
Wow.
She didn't know until after so many nights of my dad having to fantasize of a man to be able to perform with my mom.
Yeah.
To be able to have me. But you know, I mean, that's funny. But then it's also, but then he would just cry himself to sleep.
Because it wasn't his truth.
That's what exactly.
It wasn't his truth.
Exactly.
Okay.
What he was told. This is unnatural.
Right.
But what was unnatural to him is having to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And then moving on further on. I mean, I remember, you know, I mean, so eventually it came out.
Okay.
You know, but then that's when my dad was continuing the counseling and trying to continue to do the right thing and waiting for that miracle.
Okay.
Just as my mom was waiting for that miracle.
Because let's talk about that. So let me know if I'm putting words in you or your dad's mouth. But your dad wanted to be straight.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Well, he felt like he should be straight.
Okay.
I mean, deep down, he wanted to be who he was. He wanted to be with a man. He wanted to be able to love.
Okay.
He wanted to be able to experience that true intimacy and that true love and that true passion that he just couldn't experience with my mom. And it just, and it, it's certainly, really, I remember at age, he just felt like he needed to change.
Okay.
That was the right thing to do, and that, but, I mean, it would be like, for him to change, it was for him to just go straight would just be just as hard for me to just go gay.
Okay.
But then I guess, if I'm growing up in a society, in a world where I'm told that it's wrong to be straight, and that I need to be gay,
Something's
and
wrong
that
with
this
you.
is, and I'm told that all my life, then I would feel that there's something wrong.
Okay.
And that's just how my dad felt, that there was something wrong. So he felt like, so deep down inside, he wanted to be who he was, but then he felt like he couldn't.
So how did he find his truth, come out to your mom, come out to you and your siblings?
Well, it's just after many different occurrences. For a while, for quite some time, he even lived a lie. Thinking that if he just pretended and told enough people that he's straight, or lived this lie, that maybe he would go straight.
Okay.
Or, that maybe, in fact, he was involved with Evergreen. This is an organization, a support group organization to help men dealing with SSA, same-sex attraction, to work through working this program or whatever, to go straight. And
interesting.
And the thing is, my dad took leadership roles in that organization.
Oh,
He helped write the mission statement for that organization.
Really?
This was an organization funded by the Mormon Church. So he met with apostles about this. And he traveled around the United States to help open up new branches for Evergreen. Wow. But then when it really came to, so here he just felt like, here he was living this lie.
Yeah.
And then, there was even a moment when he was just so frustrated that he's not that he's not. He's a few times tempted to take his life.
Sure.
There was one time we were at Glacier National Park.
Okay.
And he was we were crossing this bridge with this huge drop underneath this bridge, and then my dad had this thought that maybe this would be an opportunity.
Wow.
To take his life.
That's so scary.
He was just. Yeah, and it's hard to comprehend, but I guess when you're just being told all your life that this is wrong, and you see that it's not changing for you.
Yeah.
And he thought he'd. So what happened is we crossed this bridge, and he thought he would he'd make a chance to kind of make it look like an accident.
Okay. So
he wanted to ask them to. After us, the family crossed the bridge. He turned around and asked them to take. For a picture, acting like he was going to take a picture, and he wanted to just say one last kind of goodbye, and then he was hoping that they would just then, after the picture, turn around and continue on their walk, to continue on the walk, and then that's when he started climbing over the edge.
Wow.
And then that's when my sister Emily turned around and saw what he was doing, and then busted.
Wow.
And then my sister Emily was just on him the rest of the trip.
Good.
And my dad couldn't explain what he was doing, but my sister Emily knew what he was doing.
Wow.
Well, it wasn't too much longer after that. I mean, is
Emily the oldest
this
sibling?
was all just not unfair for my mother too.
Yeah.
I mean, here I remember waking up in the middle of the night growing up, to pee, and I would see my mom crying in the dark in the front room, and she always thought she was hiding it.
Okay.
And she, she wasn't.
Yeah.
But and it turns out later, I get it. I know why she was crying. She was married to a gay man.
Sure. Yeah.
She was married to someone that couldn't truly find her attractive.
Sure.
So that can experience that true intimacy and love with her.
Yeah.
So it certainly was unfair for my mom.
Because she was, I guess you can say, living her truth, right? She found a man that was her best friend. They got married. They had 4 kids, right?
Right.
But she probably knew before you guys, I'm assuming, and
right.
She could tell, right? I mean, they shared a bed, for crying out loud. I'm sure she could tell.
Right. I mean, yeah, it's just something that he just couldn't hide. You could only, fantasize of a man and to be able to perform for so long, and then anyway.
Yeah. I get it. Yeah. Well, I don't get it, but I can imagine what she's going through.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there was okay. So at age, I think I was 14 when I was visiting my friends, and I was visiting my friend, and I saw his parents kiss.
Okay.
And I was just thinking, I made the comment, are your parents still dating or something?
So his parents were a man and a woman.
A man and a woman.
And you saw them kiss on the mouth.
Yes.
And you don't see that at your house.
No.
Got it. So
I mean,
you're like, what's going on?
I would see my dad's kiss like friends, but not like they were like my friends' parents kissed.
Yeah.
Like they were true they truly loved each other. That's why I commented to my friend, is your parents still dating or something? Because I just I didn't.
That's crazy. Okay.
I just saw that, after, I just didn't see that with my parents. I saw 2 best friends. That's what I saw out of my parents.
Yes.
But I just kind of thought that once you get married, that intimate and that love and that mushy stuff was done with.
Okay.
That I did not see.
Right.
From my parents.
Okay.
And that's how coming forward. Shortly after that incident of that bridge incident, there was just that moment. And this is funny, and this is his story. This is how he puts it, But it's funny because he was literally in a closet. So there was this walk-in closet, and he was just
at the house.
At the house, and he was on his knees, angry, like in the way he describes it. He was shaking his fist at God. Okay. He was pissed at God. Okay. That was his prayer.
All right.
Very upset at God, and he was letting God know it. And he was like, why, God? Why have you helped me with everything else?
Yeah.
You've helped me with all of these different other trials that I've faced in my life. You've helped me with this. You've helped me with that. You've been there for me for this and that.
Yeah.
But why have you not been there for this one issue?
Interesting.
Why have you not been there for me? Why have you not helped me go straight?
Yeah.
And then that's when it hit him. And he says he felt the Spirit more strong than he ever has before.
Wow. Interesting.
And he says, because there's nothing wrong with you. That's the feeling he got.
Wow.
So then it came clear to him.
I got a little goosebumps, to be honest with you. Yeah.
It was clear at that moment that all this time he's been asking the wrong question.
Okay.
He's been asking God to help him go straight.
Yes.
Versus just asking God if he's gay.
Okay.
And he took that, and so once he got that clarity that there's nothing wrong with him, he then asked, well, am I gay? And he felt the Spirit again. Wow. And it was just pretty clear. And he had to put aside, he had to set aside everything he's been told.
Yes.
And then he literally came out of that closet, prancing around in high heels, with dancing with colors. It's just funny but he literally came out of the closet.
Yeah.
Just pretty open. Okay. Open about who he is.
Okay.
And telling his story, and And of course, my parents loved each other enough to let each other go.
Okay.
It just...
Because they were still best friends.
Yes, and it certainly wasn't fair for my mom.
Sure.
My mom deserved to be with someone
Yes.
that she can be truly intimate with,
Right.
and have that love and passion.
Yes.
And so she found that.
Good.
And so does my dad.
That's great.
And
so where did your dad and Joe meet?
Through friends, through acquaintances. Yeah.
And they legally got married.
Yeah.
How do they do that here in Utah? Or did they go out of state for that?
They did, because at the time it was actually right. There was California had Proposition 8.
Yes.
That
yes.
Right now, it's on the federal level,
Yeah.
it's legal. But at the time, there was just a battle between.
I remember that. Yeah.
And that Proposition 8, which is making it illegal for two men to get married, that passed. But they were able to go to California to get married just before it passed. So,
okay.
yeah.
So I guess they could have waited.
Yeah.
And done it here, but
Right.
they went to California and they did it over there.
Yeah. Now it'd be all good to do it here. So I have two LGBT parents. I have two loving dads.
Right.
And it was, so I wasn't literally raised.
Okay.
I was raised by a gay dad. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
He was gay.
Yeah.
Trying to be someone else.
Right.
Or fighting who he was.
Yes.
But really, so I never got to come to know what it's like for children.
Yeah.
And so it
Okay.
has
That makes
come to
sense.
my attention in my communication with like the Pride Center.
Okay.
That there are these children that just don't know. And I think just to bring these communities together, to create this environment
Yes.
where these children get to meet other children with the same family
Right.
dynamic, and out of that, what the future that can bring
Right.
is support, support groups for these children,
Yes.
and to have these children grow up with these children,
Right.
if nothing is done, then these children, some children just continue to feel like that they're alone,
Right.
until maybe they get a little bit older.
Yes.
But I think if they can come to know that it's great to have the parents that they have, and when they have these opportunities to even
Yes.
share their love for their parents at these events.
Right.
This potluck in last April, the Love Makes a Family potluck, it was really just celebrating love that makes a family,
Yeah, that's great.
regardless of the family dynamic.
So did you put that one together? Did
Yeah.
you organize that one? That's great because, we've been friends for a long time, and I remember we would go on motorcycle rides, and you wanted to organize some type of ride
Yeah.
for the LGBT community.
Right.
And I know you didn't get to that. I think there was a lot of work that had to be done for that one.
Right.
So you never did that one. I don't know if you still plan on doing it.
I think it still would be fun.
I think it would.
Anytime
for me to get on motorcycles.
I think
okay.
I still that is still a vision I have.
Yes, that's great.
There was just something that stopped me then because I was thinking bikers for equality.
Okay.
And I was just kind of stopped by that. It was other biker clubs that just thought that would be a bad idea. But what can be done is rides for equality.
Yes.
Just call it something different, without a patch on the back where I may be a threat to other biker clubs. But to have a rides for equality and still have that flag, attached to the motorcycles.
Sure.
The equality flag.
Yeah.
So
That's pretty awesome, man. I'm super excited that you're able to do the things that you want to do to bring awareness and bring support for it. And so this is not your event, but you're kind of helping with this one. So this is going to be
Well,
August
I'll just
18th.
tell you that that the event that took place in April,
Yes.
it was also a fundraiser to raise money for the Pride Center
Okay.
in support of their transitioning to their new location.
Oh.
And so all the proceeds, I mean, so it was fun. There was a raffle, and I got lots of fun donations from many different places.
That's
so all the proceeds from the raffle went to the Pride Center.
Okay.
And so they were very grateful to it. And
That's
so
nice.
and they I think they saw something. They saw just a difference being made, and something, an area that needed to be touched on.
Okay.
And that is reaching out to these children that have LGBT parents.
Okay.
You know, and so they were. This event is a family-oriented event, hosted by these different organizations.
Okay.
And they've requested that I help.
That's
Help
awesome.
coordinate
Well,
the event,
let's
help
plug it.
promote
So,
it. Yeah.
You know, we can give the dates, and is there a website as well?
There's you just go on to Facebook.
Okay. I'll hold it up. I know it's kind of reverse on YouTube here as we put it for the YouTube, but go ahead and just kind of say what we have here. It's going to be August 18th,
Right.
1 o'clock at Fairmont Park at the West Pavilion. That's in Salt Lake City, so 1040 East Sugarmont Drive. And where would they look for on Facebook? Where would they look for that?
So you just on Facebook, just search LGBTQ plus Big Family Picnic.
Okay.
And this is free. It's a free event, family-oriented event, dog-friendly event. We'll have the poopy bags and water for the dogs. Free food, hot dogs, and different fun games.
That sounds awesome.
And then a dunk tank.
Are you going to be getting dunked or what?
Yeah, so come and dunk me. Yeah, that's what it's all about. This is all about dunking me. Yeah, that's it.
Well, hey Jacob, I'm super excited you're able to do that. So I wish you the best. I hope next year you're going to do the potluck. Say it again, the name of it. The event you hosted earlier this year.
Love makes a family potluck.
Love makes a family potluck.
Right.
And you think we'll do it again next year then?
Yeah, we're actually thinking about making that a monthly thing.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, because I've actually had a meeting earlier today with the Pride Center event, the executive director, about using their space.
Okay.
And they're I mean, he's enrolled. He's enrolled in the idea of their space being used to make this a monthly thing.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, great. Hey, man, I appreciate you sharing your story. That was pretty crazy story. I got a couple goosebumps during the story, and I'm so glad your dad, your mom, they found their paths, and they're happy, and they're still friends, and so that's super awesome. And then you're bringing these events together where kids that can connect with other kids in the same boat they're in, and they don't have to feel so isolated, I guess, right? And so that's super awesome.
And then also just for families to really see these other families that they're beautiful. That even though there's there's maybe that difference, but they're beautiful. All families, regardless of the dynamic, are beautiful.
100%.
Families come in many different colors, like a rainbow, but they're all beautiful.
That's true. Well, thanks for coming in, guys, and hope you guys enjoyed this pod. Also, on the YouTube channel too, we are filming and recording today from the DVO studio here in my home office. So this is the first time we've recorded in here, so Jacob gets the honors.
Yeah.
So,
hey, thank you. It was an honor. Definitely.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks so much. Hope you guys liked it. If you enjoyed the story, if you felt impacted, or you feel like other people might want to be able to connect like this because they have these struggles as well, please share this episode with them. Share the information that Jacob's provided, and please share, subscribe the podcast and YouTube channel. Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Thank you.